and liberalization and multilateral integration of the economies across globe, which basically meant that it required quick exchange of information, transactions, exchange of ideas, and the economies tended to become knowledge economies. And basically, it required the intervention of computers and telecommunication systems. And these systems needed to be manned by experts. And thanks to the sagacious policies of the Indian planners and leaders after independence, who thought that without the independence of technology and technical expertise, economic self-reliance will be meaningless. That's why the emphasis was on erecting vast infrastructure and educational institutions, particularly technical institutions. And as it was said yesterday, India produces 26 lakh STEM students every year. It was because of that visionary policy of the planners that we had set up these technical institutes, research institutions, IITs, engineering colleges, and whatnot. And during this period of globalization, the whole world required a manpower, technically trained manpower, and India had plenty of that. We provided skilled labor, inexpensive skilled labor, all across the globe, and it brought fortunes to all our families, because of our kids. And in fact, it was this digitalization during this period that pulled us out of going up Hindu rate of growth, isn't it? It was for the first time that it enabled us to aspire for a very high rate of growth, and that's why after the reforms, 8%, 9% became something very, very achievable. Whereas earlier, during 50s, 60s, 70s, we were not being able to even transcend 3.5 Hindu rate. So digitalization played that role. And therefore, now in the contemporary setup, particularly after, as I said, 2015 Digital India Mission, 2017 we adopted the National AI Strategy, National Strategy of Artificial Development, Artificial Intelligence. Because artificial intelligence ultimately belongs to this domain of computers, IT, software, and things like that. Digital area. So that's why digital transformation into artificial intelligence, if India could achieve very high rate of growth based on digitalization of the economy, specializing and progressing in artificial intelligence area would not be very difficult for India. That is what I think. Because we have the wherewithal, we have the whole infrastructure to train our labor, to train our workers, existing ones and the new ones in this area of artificial intelligence. It has all been said, artificial intelligence, in fact, when devices kind of copy the activities of the brain, human brain, they simulate human brain by using information trained onto the devices in terms of large set of data, and they have the ability to think and react just like human brains do. That is why artificial intelligence is based on neural sciences, that how the brain in fact responds to certain situations. The only thing, as it was just mentioned, that there is a risk that it may be prejudicial in decision making, it may have biases, because it will depend upon the nature of data that is trained onto these devices. So that will depend upon the quality of data. But certainly the AI oriented devices have the capacity to handle large amount of data simultaneously. And how AI is different from automation? Because you may tend to think that because if I feed data and ask this device to do something, This is what is the difference between automation? Automation is only restricting to the use of that we feed into these. They have the capacity to read relationships, patterns, and interrelations between the different parameters that are fed into that. So those algorithms, in fact, have the capacity to take their own decisions. Automation will not take its own decisions, but it can take its own decisions on the basis of the different parameters that are fed into in terms of vast amount of data. So that is how the AI is, in fact now the researchers are going into kind of mapping the whole neural networks as they actually work in the brain. And if those things are created, then you will have the real, you can say, simply clones of human beings, robots, who have that kind of brain as actually the human beings have. And even I was reading an article only a few days back that even in Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, and Institute of Nanoscience Technology have already kind of devised some actually I'm not a scientific or technical man sometimes. So those film kind of thing, only small film, it will even not even require the LLM models on which these till now the AI systems are based. Even that will, because even LLM, the large language models, they require a lot of space, which is needed to, in fact, do calculations. And that new experiment that has already been done on a small scale, that you will require a kind of that film, the name I don't remember, and that film will just enable to help you calculate hundreds of times of what even the LL models based AI is doing so far. So we are progressing in this area. Well, India has also started in a very big way, as it has already been pointed out by the chairperson and co-chair, that it will require a lot of skills among the new workers and upskilling among the existing workers, so as to adapt to this new technology. Of course, it is emerged from the digital domain, but it has its own finer nuances and will have to be inculcated in the workers who are already equipped with this domain. In India, a brief, this AI evolved, as it is said. I read from various literature, Professor Mahabala, who did his PhD from MIT US and came to India in 1955 and set up courses in AI in IIT Kanpur and initiated people doing the PhD. That was the beginning. But you'd be surprised to know, yesterday mention was made, although all economists, we study about Professor Mahalanobis, and we think that Mahalanobis, I thought that he was an economist, but he was not. Basically, he was a statistician, and he also came from US and entered ISI Calcutta, and there he worked on in the field of statistics in trying to identify the distance between the main data and the outliers, and that approach is known as Mahalanobis distance, and it is still used in AI. So in a way, Mahalanobis can be called as a pioneer of AI in India. And simultaneously, Professor Majumdar also came from the US and joined ISI and was trained by Mahalanobis, and he worked in the area of fuzzy logic. And his kind of work is also very, very fundamental to this area of AI. He can also be, and this is what is happening. This is what is happening in the mid-50s in India. And then third person, Dr. Reddy, also came from outside, went into IIT Madras and worked in the area of image and speech recognition. Again, very, very basic area to AI. So these are the people who can be considered as the pioneers of AI in India. And since then, lot many courses were instituted by these people. Many institutions, particularly UNDP, initiated supercomputers in India, initiated and gave grants for the scientists or technologists to work in the area, do PhDs, write papers, and then many private companies start coming after 2010 and so on. Many companies, IT companies, you know, all those in process, Wipro and all those, they start also in IBM and then and they also start investing in AI research in India. So, AI preparedness index has been constructed. क्योंकि indexes तो फटाफट आ जाते हैं ना index. So what is India's position as far as AI preparedness index is concerned? India is 72nd at present as far as AI preparedness is concerned. Although I said that it's not appropriate if we produce so many STEM students, 26 lakh students every year, we should have the capability to train them in these emerging critical areas of technology, and why should we not? But still, China also produces almost similar 26 or 30 lakh STEM students, but China is the leading nation as far as AI, after US perhaps. It is the US, Finland, Denmark, these countries, Switzerland are doing much better as far as AI is concerned. But India is doing very well as far as paper writing is concerned. But the things that matter is transforming that theoretical research into commercial application. That is actually lagging in India. Because that cutting edge technology research is required to bring it to that commercial stage. That is not happening because India is, I think, 5th ranked as far as filing patents or writing papers is concerned. You see, technical papers in this area, but the preparedness, as I said, is India is lagging far behind. So, much effort is being done because we have now taken it as AI mission since 2019, and under the national AI strategy, we are investing a huge amount of money into this area, and so such efforts are underway. No light here. So which are the initiatives that India has taken to transform India into the AI garage, as it is called, of the world? These initiatives are Skill India AI portal, because under this portal, all the courses in AI and all the institutions, all the tutorials that are to be imparted in this area are concerned will be reflected on this Skill India AI portal. Then we have national AI skilling program, which will emphasize AI skills through customized training modules. Then we have AI youth boot camp projects, which is which is being monitored by the experts to foster AI interests. Then we have another initiative, AI in vocational training, integrating AI tools into the vocational programs. Then we have AI Research and Innovation Fund that will support startup projects in AI. So it's coming in a big way, in fact, because of its importance, as it has already been pointed out that it will bring higher efficiency, more productivity, quickness. It will be able to do many jobs for a large number of people simultaneously. So it will save costs as well as maybe it will have some bad impact on employment, but then there will be many new type of jobs that will be required. And it is said that if 96 lakh type of jobs will be 26, 30 lakh type of jobs will also be created. For example, image readers, voice recognition, and even in healthcare, in various, even in music industry, in fine arts industry, in everywhere, agriculture, as it was said, smart traffic, smart cities. So a lot of it, even in manufacturing, agriculture, all areas. Which areas now is left out of this surge of AI? So AI is required everywhere. So it will have, of course, it will have its benefit, as we were sharing with Professor Goel yesterday, that if Bhagavad Gita says that it will lead to problem digitalization, but then problems will always remain. They are integral part of human evolution. So similarly, problems are there for the AI also, because in AI, deepfakes, image tampering, then you have many scams. They are occurring using this AI platforms. In fact, as it was pointed out yesterday, that the risk, the digital risk report 23 points out that 324% increase is on scam sites. So therefore, see, every time whenever a bell rings on your phone, you start thinking that whether you want to receive. May not be it's a fake one. It will, in fact, scoop out all your funds. This is the general fear these days. So this is all AI related. And then as I pointed out yesterday, that some studies have pointed out, for example, it was said that digitalization cannot be measured. It has been measured. We know that how much is the progress in digital economy of India. For example, it is said that by 2030, this digitalization and AI will add about 1.2 to 1.5 trillion dollars to our GDP in India, if it is properly done. So therefore, there are benefits, number of benefits. So that is why India needs to train its labor to take the best advantage of this. Let me mention the most prominent from our perspective is, as it was said, that it has to be in fact intertwined with the education system now. That this whole new emerging technologies of machine learning, deep learning, blockchain, VR, AR, all these technologies which are in the AI domain, they have been now made part of the UGC and even the CBSE. CBSE, for example, I was talking to my small granddaughter who is in third standard perhaps in Delhi, and I said that I might speak on AI. She started giving me lecture on the whole AI portal that she has been browsing. She said, okay, Nano, till now it's only for the kids, but even I think you can also handle that. So she, in fact, on phone, she told me how to open that AI portal. I mean, so this is what even I learned that the CBSE has introduced coding, which is very basic and essential in AI domain from 6th standard. So just imagine कि 6th standard का बच्चा जो है वो AI सीखना शुरू कर देगा तो वो आगे क्या expert कैसा expert बनेगा. So this is what is being done. UGC has also introduced in its new education policy in which lot of emphasis that is called curriculum and guidelines for life skills. So under this new policy, under NEP 2020, all these emerging areas, instilling soft skills, technical skills, interpersonal skills in the course curriculum. And then UGC has introduced that it should be, these new technologies should be put in the public domain. And that is why they opened these course learning under MOOCs model. MOOCs is, you know all, massive open online courses, MOOCs. That means they'll be available online. So anybody who's interested can learn these courses. And then the other portal, which is SWAYAM Neptal. SWAYAM is study webs of active learning for young aspiring minds. SWAYAM. Under SWAYAM, all these engineering courses, अभी तक हम सोचते हैं कि इंजीनियरिंग सिर्फ इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेजेस में बैठ के करते हैं. No, even those who have not done any engineering course, they can do these modules on SWAYAM portal, and they will be granted proper certification as AI skilled workers under this NPTEL, NPTEL, that is National Program on Technology Enhanced Learning. Even IIT will give you certificate that this person has done this particular engineering course from SWAYAM through MOOCs model, and you become AI expert, you become a digital expert, and you have a ready market before you that can absorb you to generate jobs. So if jobs will be lost, many new type of jobs in the health area, in the entertainment area, in the market area, that will be open to public once this training program and various initiatives come full thrust in the economy. So that it is said that we may be able to train, as the target is that we have to train 30% of our workforce in contrast to simply 4% at present by 2030. So 30% of workforce may be trained, but the demand for AI, that will increase much beyond that. It is so fast, it's so rapidly spreading all across the sectors that these AI experts will be demanded. So therefore, a tremendous exercise is being undertaken for the training. The private companies are also being involved, and even in the rural areas, under the Advantage program, ADVANTAG, Advantage program of imparting AI training to the workers, tier 2 cities, tier 3 cities, even the rural areas. So the workers will be picked up and informally trained, and even these online portals, as I've just discussed, they will be thrown open for anyone to learn new skills. And so very revolutionary steps are being taken, because we want to turn India into AI garage of the whole world. Just like we supplied our technical manpower to man all these IT and software areas all across the globe, and same will happen in the case of AI, because India has a huge infrastructure to train this technical manpower, technical expertise. Okay, let me quickly summarize in 1 or 2 minutes. What are the challenges? What are the challenges for this program? I think the basic challenge, perhaps it doesn't cross our mind, is the lack of chips, microelectronic chips, because this whole digital gadgets, all these AI gadgets are based on chips, and India is woefully lacking in the manufacturing and designing of chips. Now we have aggressively taken up this venture by entering into collaborations with a number of American companies, and fortunately, America is now behind us. America is not unlike the earlier America, which sent its 7th Fleet to fight out India in 1971. Now, euphemistically, America trying to transfer what is called ICET, initiatives in critical and emerging technology, under which all these AI-related technologies, cyber security, digital technologies, AI, quantum computing, semiconductors, all these new technologies are going to be transferred, and Micron Technologies, America, Lam Industries are training 60,000 engineers in AI. Foxconn, you have already learned, Foxconn, a Taiwanese company, is already in India. It had entered into collaboration with Vedanta, but which unfortunately didn't click. But Foxconn is investing $250 billion in Gujarat in the designing of chips. Sorry to say, still we are missing that critical part, manufacturing and fabrication of which requires a lot of expertise. India is entering into various collaborations only for the designing of chips. Manufacturing and fabrication is still eluding, because unless we do that, we will not be able to bring down the cost of manufacturing of chips so as to make it run-of-the-mill kind of gadgets available everywhere in the market. Because till the cost of chips is scaled down, it will be difficult. So, but India is already 10,000 crore rupees, and India ultimately has a plan of investing $10 billion in the manufacture of semiconductors and this microelectronic chips with number of companies. But then, as it was pointed out, Goel Saab was the leading expert yesterday, mentioned about the risks of digital. So, fake images, fake websites, and you can say so many other scams, data pilferage, very important, because unless we are able to protect our data, these critical technologies will not succeed. And that's why in 23 we have already come up with data protection bill, and in fact, as we were discussing yesterday, that India is already spending crores of rupees in creating what is called cyber security force, under which these people will be specially. And only yesterday, somebody here in this institute was telling me that they have a separate department of cyber security, and they give degree in cyber security as such. So these are the initiatives which will make it a safe haven. It will make a safeguard. Yeah, and so therefore we are very hopeful. We are very optimistic that if this new technology has come, it has a huge amount of advantages for the economy, for the society. Of course, it is only human mind which has an evil content, but once that is reined in, I think this technology has a very propitious times for us in the times to come. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Chadha, for speaking. Excellent dialogue on this. But at the same time, for the sake of audience, I want to draw your kind attention to the fact there is a book which you must read it. In addition to the dialogue given by Professor Chadha, The Coming Wave, Technology Power and the 21st Century. This book,
chip wars, is the most important of this.
this is also relevant. But at the same time, we have to be alert, aware and awake of the misuses. Monkey mind must be changed with monk mind. That is certainly needed in my beloved country.
Thank you, Professor Chadha, for this wonderful presentation. Though Professor Chadha did say that he's not prepared, he's just filling in the gap. But he has so much to say that we would have given him more time. Unfortunately, time is always short. But we had a wonderful insight into this AI area and the journey of technology to digitalization to AI, how it has evolved, was placed in a wonderful way by Professor Chadha. Thank you once again, Professor Chadha. Our next presentation will be online, and the paper presenter is Dr. Arati Srivastava, who is from the National Institute of Education and Planning and Administration. May I? Can she start the presentation? Huh. Is she online? Hello? Are you audible? I think I can begin, Dr. Arti. Dr. Arti from the National Institute of Education and Planning. Huh. You are audible, but I think it needs. Are you? No, but she's audible. Would you like to unmute yourself or? Huh. I think you have to unmute yourself, Dr. Arti. I think we are not audible to her. She's good? Huh. Oh, in the. Oh, but the volume is not. I think you can. Huh, we can see you, yes.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So, how many participants are there in this session?
4 or 5. In this session, participants are many, but speakers are 4. You are the second speaker. Would you please mind starting your presentation? Dr. Arti? Would you please begin?
Ma'am, please start. Can somebody introduce? Can somebody please introduce? Okay, okay. So, I was given the topic of the impact of AI on economy, on the Indian economy. So, we know that artificial intelligence basically is a technology that can, simulate human intelligence and solve problems. So, what problems we can sometimes, we use the brain to solve, but AI can simulate and actually solve the problems. So, so AI into economy actually, is both a positive and a negative factor, So, from the economist point of view. So, the first thing is that, it is, the impact is multifaceted and far reaching. And the positive side of, first I will speak on the positive side of AI. So, the positive side of AI is that increased productivity, artificial intelligence can automate routine and repetitive tasks. So whatever is routine and repetitive, like, supposing, one has to, change from washing to rinsing. So the AI in the machine will automatically do that. So the person's, going to the washing machine and doing it again is, a routine and a repetitive task. So that can be eliminated, and then freeing up. So this gives more time to the human resources for more strategic and creative work. So if some tasks which is routine and repetitive is taken care by AI, so the humans will have more time to engage in more strategic and creative work. So that is one very big advantage. Then, of course, improved efficiency. AI can optimize business processes, reduce wastage of time, and enhance decision making. So many decisions now we see that through AI, you can have a series of things coming, and then your decisions can be more informed in a short moment of time. So that can really happen. And third is that new job creation. While AI may replace some jobs, it also creates new ones, such as AI developers, data scientists, AI, ethics people. So there are some new jobs also on the play, although it will substitute some jobs, and I will talk about it later. And then, of course, economic growth. AI can, drive innovation, entrepreneurship, economic growth by enabling new industries, productions, and services. So it will engage both with the production processes and the service sector, and including the agriculture also. So that also can go on. So these are some things, and I will detail them out for you. But let me just get into the brass tacks of the negative. So the job displacement is the major thing. So when machines came, people were saying that, even when the handloom was, sidelined, that, industrial production of textile was there. So the job displacement was a big issue. So AI may displace certain jobs, particularly those that involve routine and repetitive tasks. So AI will be actually taking care of the lower end jobs. Now, ultimately, the brain will prevail, and that will create more artificial intelligence. So the lower end jobs will be basically dissipated. Then, of course, the income inequality, which is a major concern. The benefits of AI may accrue to a small elite, and then, marginalizing, the other, people, and therefore raising inequality. So this is a very negative drive, because AI understanding and AI process, will become a little elitist and will marginalize many people who do not have. And in a country like India, where there's a huge digital divide, we see that, it will then further, concentrate and minimize the people who have access to technology and the high end technology, so to say. So that will really matter the thing. Then dependence on technology. See, we are getting too much technology dependent. I remember in school when, there was an exam, so the calculators were discouraged. They do not, because if you're using the calculator, then your brain will not function that smartly. But now, increasingly we are getting more and more technology dependent, and therefore now what has happened is that over reliance on AI can lead to decreased human skills and abilities. So, researchers have proved that, if you look at creation of other people, then what you need to do is that your own brain stops functioning. So if you're watching a movie, then you're watching a creation of somebody else, and your brain is not really put to work. But if you're reading, so when you're reading, a hard copy reading, then what happens is that many things you're imagining yourself. Supposing I say there was this, very beautiful scenery. So you start imagining the scenery, that it's a beautiful scenery. So then the next question is whether it is seaside or mountainside. So all those things come to your imagination. So, and when you read, that's a maximum when you can imagine. Then second is that when you when you listen to the radio, still, at least your brain is functioning, and sometimes, in tandem it is working and for better results. But if you're watching and listening and it's something made by other people, then of course there is a huge loss to the skills and abilities of the individual, which is very, very, problematic in the long run, because in the long run it is the brain that prevails, and if you are making our brains dysfunctional, then that's a huge challenge. Then of course bias and discrimination will start happening, because AI systems can perpetuate existing biases and discriminate against certain groups. So AI, because it is, high end technology, it is used by certain kind of people, and certain, so those kind of biases will come in. We are seeing, the biases that we are getting created on the WhatsApp universities, through all these things. So therefore, because it is controlled by certain people, how media control on certain issues, creates all kinds of biases. So we have to actually balance these two. So now there is positive side of AI, and of course the negative side of AI, and for economy, how it is impacting. So we need to, judicious use of AI is the answer. So therefore, mitigating the negative impacts, upskilling and reskilling. Now what happens is that education is a lifelong process. We need to constantly keep learning and upskilling and reskilling our own selves. So the government organizations should invest in education and training programs that help workers develop skills that complement AI. So the government should intervene, put in more money here, try to work on the human capital and develop AI. So that is one major thing. Training programs, so more training institutions, so that people can, what I need, in research, I call it the research clinics. Many researchers get stuck on certain points. So therefore, they should have access to some place where they can get instant advice regarding that. So that should be, those kind of training programs. So if I want to upskill, I want to learn something on AI, or I want to learn something on XYZ issues, I should have access to that training program and should be able to upscale and learn that. Then of course social safety nets, that have to be created, because many people are losing their jobs. So the government should establish or strengthen social safety nets to support workers who lose their jobs due to AI. So the safety nets, should be there. So people who lose their jobs because of AI should be supported so that they can rehabilitate them. Supposing, somebody has lost a job because probably the railway track, gate man, that is all automated. So that, then we can have an alternate, we can provide him instant support, that he can retrain himself, reskill, invest in, so that he also can take on to another job. So social safety nets are very, very important when we are using AI. Then regulation and oversight. Regulation and oversight, government should establish regulations and oversight mechanisms to prevent AI related biases and discrimination. So the regulation of the AI, what you can use, what you cannot use, in the computer now, what is happening is a lot of misuse is happening also. So here, regulation comes in. So what to regulate, how to regulate, and how much to regulate, or all these questions that can be set through policy and through regulatory agencies, so that responsible use of AI takes place. Then of course encouraging responsible AI development, is important thing, that how do we encourage the right kind of use. So encouraging responsible AI development, developers and users of AI should prioritize transparency, accountability, ethics in AI development and deployment. So, constantly we should, use all these things, so that, everybody knows. It's not that some people are using it in a certain way. So they prioritize transparency, accountability, ethics in AI development and deployment. I mean, AI, is a very good idea, but the way it is used will actually, make the chart the way forward, and therefore one has to be very, very meticulous and judicious in how you implement AI into the economy. So overall, it will help the economy. I mean, from the economic perspective, provided the use of how it is used, so it will help in growth, so faster innovation will take place, faster technology will take, technology transfers will take place. The link to academia and industry, government, all these things can take place at a faster rate, and therefore this AI is a boon if used properly for the Indian economic growth. So with that, a short presentation was what was requested. So I finished but I'm open to any question and answers.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Sorry, am I audible? Am I audible? Am I audible, Dr.
Any question and answers? Questions? I mean,
Am I audible, Dr. Arti?
yes.
Thank you for the wonderful presentations.
You have highlighted certain very important points, such as the judicious use of AI is extremely important, and also regarding the skilling for AI and the regulation for AI is actually extremely important. Social safety is actually are very important. So I think the questions that the architects can't complete the question so that there's no connectivity problem. Would there be any questions from the audience?
Next speaker को बुला लीजिए.
Let me ask her clarifications on how to get rid of the digital arrest. Excuse me, Professor. We have been a victim of digital arrest. In the lot of money is being snatched from these cyber criminals through digital arrest. Kindly suggest some remedies for that.
See, that is what I said. So digital arrest and all these things happen, when there's a vicious use of anything is the answer, optimal. The answer, therefore, to escape all these kind of conditions, which are non-humane conditions, we should know how much to use and all, and so regulations and how control for oversight and all these things will come in to see that how we are progressing in AI use in our own lives. So Chitranjan ji, does that answer your question?
Any more questions from the audience? There is one more question, Dr. Arti.
It's all about so it's all about power of mind. So we should know, what device and what will not.
One gentleman over there.
I'm Rishikesh from Christ University, Bangalore. A common concern as an academic, which I find is a lot of these submissions in assignments come with a courtesy to these chat GPT and so many other resources. So is there any ethical framework that is already designed by UGC or any other regulatory body for that matter that looks into the ethical usage of... Hello? Can you hear me, ma'am?
Now I can hear you, so please can you send your question again?
Yes, ma'am. I'm Rishikesh here. Can you hear me, ma'am?
Again, Chitranjan ji, you are muted.
Hello? Hello?
Just like plagiarism, you have certain what are the used and how much can you use it in your assignments? Assignments in the sense not regular classroom assignment, but in the thesis and the dissertations that you submit. So there is, in plagiarism also you have certain degree of something that's allowed, certain words and all that go. Similarly, the use of AI tools also there are set patterns in which you can what you can use and beyond which your thesis will not be accepted.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Arati, very much for this beautiful insight and for sure satisfying the cravings of our audience. Thank you once again, Dr. Arati.
Thank you. I wish success for the Indian Economic Association.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So our next presentation will be by Professor Hansa Jain, who is a professor of economics at MG Kashi Vidyapeeth of Varanasi. Are you ready, Dr. Monica? Is Hansa ready? She's ready. Yes, Professor Hansa. Yes, please. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay,
Go
thank you
ahead,
so much. Yeah. Very good morning to all. First of all, I'm grateful to the organizers of 107th Annual International Conference of IEA, particularly Professor America Singh, Chairman IEA Apex Committee, and Vice Chancellor of Vikrant University for inviting me to the panel discussion on artificial intelligence and its impact on the economy and society. In my presentation, I will focus on the emerging changes in Indian labor market in the age of technological advancements, since labor is the most important part of the society and is highly influenced by technological changes at work spaces. I am sharing the slide. Wait a minute.
You go ahead.
Yeah, just wait a minute. I'm sharing the slide. Is this visible?
Is it coming? Yeah. It is.
Okay, so since labor is an important part of the society and highly influenced by technological changes, so I will give my presentation on artificial intelligence and labor market dynamics, analysis of employment shifts in India. I will not go to the definition of artificial intelligence as it has, I think that earlier speakers must have been discussed that, and I was listening to Dr. Aarti Srivastava, and she has also discussed this thing, the basic detail of artificial intelligence. I will just say that due to the pervasive nature of artificial intelligence, its ability to self-improve over time and capacity to generate complementary innovations, it is considered as the general purpose technology. And other thing is that the other important thing is that it facilitates the automation of tasks, freeing workers from linear duties and enable them to focus on higher order tasks that require critical thinking and emotional intelligence. In such cases, AI complements the skill of workers, particularly those with higher educational attainments, boosting their productivity and efficiency. Unlike the previous automation technologies such as industrial robots and automated machines, which typically handle routine tasks that require the repetitive applications of explicit rules, AI has a much greater potential to automate a broader range of activities. Through its machine learning algorithms, AI can now automate non-routine tasks that require tacit skills. Specifically, AI's capabilities in problem solving, logical reasoning, and perception have made it possible to automate even non-routine cognitive tasks. This has extended to high-skilled occupations, including some traditionally white-collar professions, which require advanced cognitive skills. The literature has explained the automation impact on labor market through three types. Basically, displacement effect, which means direct loss of jobs due to automation; productivity effects, which arises basically when the productivity generates opportunities in non-automated tasks; and reinstatement effect, where the labor is displaced, where the displaced labor is reinstated into the new tasks which arise due to new industries and sectors. But regarding the impact of AI, the situation is somewhat different. Like for the displacement effect, AI can have a greater impact on white-collar jobs in the tertiary sector, such as accounting, consultancy, and more, due to its ability to understand and use natural languages, adversely affecting employment and wage premiums in skilled occupations. In case of productivity, higher productivity increases labor demand, but only for the workers who have basically the artificial intelligence skills in the area of content creation, grammar checking, paraphrasing, etc., leading to higher wages and employment for those with AI skills. In case of reinstatement effects, it mainly creates new tasks and jobs where labor has a comparative advantage, increasing labor demand by generating AI-related industries and roles in research, development, and maintenance. This implies that development in AI are changing the labor dynamics by shifting task content towards more specialized roles. Basically, the AI-related roles, they are the task content is shifting. Now, this has raised concern for the labor market, particularly in India, where about 40% of the population have secondary level education, less than 10% are graduates and postgraduates, and 3% have professional degrees. Since AI can affect the entire economy, all sectors and occupations, concern is raised for its potential impact on the labor market and employment pattern. Since usage of AI in India is still at the initial stage, and AI refers to deepening of automation, glimpses can be obtained about the impact of AI on labor market by observing the past trends of automations and its impact on the labor market. This particular table shows the change in occupational engagement in India. The red color shows the decrease in that particular occupation type, and the green color shows the increase in the particular occupation type. And the occupation types are divided according to their skill level, high, medium, and low, and for both the routine tasks and the non-routine cognitive tasks. We can observe from this table that the occupation of manager and elementary occupations, manager is at the high-end skill level, and elementary occupation is the low-end skill level. Both these occupations are highly susceptible to automation. Regarding the other occupations, particularly skilled agricultural, forestry, and fishery workers in the non-routine manual type, that is a medium skill type, there is a continuous increase in the share of workers. Apart from this, The share of workers in the high-end category, particularly for professional technicians and associate professionals, and service and sales workers and craft and related trade workers, it decreased earlier, but after 2020-21, we can observe that these stocks are increasing. This indicates that with the advancement of technologies and the increase in productivities, those tasks are generated which supports the productivity and also supported by the increased productivity in the sectors. But the situation is different for the rural and urban areas. We can see that in case of rural area, the majority of the tasks are very less responsive to the changes in automation. And if we look at the urban area, large number of tasks are, we can say, they are increasing with automation. The reason being that in the urban areas, there are a lot of opportunities. The digital infrastructure is also improved, physical infrastructure is also improved. So it provides the opportunity to large number of aspirants. But in rural area, these acts as a constraint because these facilities are less developed. Now, since it has already been discussed earlier by earlier speakers and in my earlier slide that the jobs are getting displaced basically of the high-end type. And in such a situation, since the arising of productivity effect and replacement effect takes a longer time, so in the short run, there is high chances of transition of the workers towards self-employment. This self-employment transition can be mainly because of three reasons. It can be a lifestyle choice because sometimes people want greater autonomy and flexibility, and this mainly happens when the people are highly educated and they are highly skilled. It can be because of economic necessity, that is the forced decision to exclusion from other sources of employment, and it can be a part-time endeavor to supplement other sources of income. In the present time, the opportunities in self-employment are created through digital labor platform, basically the AI-based platforms, which are providing opportunities in the form of self-employment, entrepreneurship, and freelancing. And apart from that, policy initiatives has been taken by the government, particularly the Startup India, to foster conducive environment for entrepreneurship, encourage innovation, and provide financial and infrastructure support to budding startups. Regarding digital labor platforms, they are online service or marketplace that connects individuals with clients or customers for various types of works or services. These platforms facilitate task-based or project-based works, basically of the temporary or flexible nature. That means it provides high amount of autonomy to the workers to work independently through digital interfaces. And these types of platforms basically offer the services like driving, delivery, freelance writing, graphic design, programming, and more. In all these types of, we can say, platform-related activities, the workers are treated as independent contractors because they are not under the traditional employer-employee relationship. And both the clients as well as the workers, they now prefer these types of opportunities through digital labor platforms because there are reliable on-demand services and also there are secured payments. These platforms, they are web-based as well as location-based, providing, we can say, opportunities to both the skilled and the non-skilled workers by way of, we can say, freelance marketplaces, micro-trusting crowd work, and so on. In India, the usage of digital platforms has remarkably increased because of the increasing share of young population, increasing use of smartphones, low-cost internet, and initiatives under Digital India campaign. And these platforms offer a wide range of services to workers, employers, as well as the customers. For the workers, there are access to opportunities, flexibility, and autonomy in work culture, global reach. They can get opportunities at the global level. There are lower barriers to entry, support services. They can get opportunity in multiple sectors. There is also payment security and inclusion because it, we can say, it provides opportunities to we can say, irrespective of gender and social class. In case of employers, the digital platforms are considered to be cost-effective, access to global talent pools, scalability. They are efficient platforms. There is flexible hiring and customer satisfaction because all the companies always tries to reach the maximum level of the customer satisfaction. Regarding the customers, they feel it convenient to access through their choices and varieties to digital platforms. It is cost-effective, transparent, and there is a faster delivery of products and services. With the rise in digital platforms in India, the gig economy has also grown. Actually, these are all the impacts of the automation technologies and to some extent to AI. And these gig economies are growing at a compound annual growth rate of 17%. This is driven by factors such as favorable demographic structure. We have an increasing share of, we can say, young population, the population in the working age group, and also the increasing share of graduates in the population share. Urbanization, digitalization, lower labor cost, and consumer demand. About 65% of Indian firms are hiring gig workers amid talent crunch. Currently, platform-based gig workers account for 6.5% of non-agricultural workforce. Around 28% of gig workers are women, indicating that these platforms are providing flexibility and autonomy, and we can say ensuring their work and family balance. India's gig sector is expected to contribute 1.25% to GDP by 2030 and create 90 million jobs in the long term. India is second largest gig economy in the world with around 56% of all gig workers in the Asia Pacific region working in India. And gig economy is predicted to be a significant building block in achieving India's aim to become a $5 trillion economy by 2025. So we can see that these digital platforms are, we can say, these are attributing to the rise of gig economy, and it is the present day culture. And if you look at the growth statistics of gig workers, it is continuously increasing. In 2020-21, it increased to 7.7 million from 2.5 million in 2011-12. We can say accounting for 1.49% share of the total workforce, and it is likely to increase to 4.10% of total workforce by 2029-30. If we look at the age-wise distribution of these gig workers, they are mainly, their share is very high in the age group of 26 to 40 years. Basically, if we look at the impact of technology, we can say the higher end, the tasks of the higher skill level are highly exposed to artificial intelligence, and these workers are basically, they perform the non-routine cognitive tasks, and they have the specialized skills, and they belong to the age group of generally 26 to 40 years, and we can say that the influence of technology, artificial intelligence it is shifting these workers to the gig economy. This is followed by 32% share in 19 to 25 years age group. The reasons for gigification are autonomy and control over own resources, earning while seeking a better job, balancing career and family needs, only way to make an income, and to make extra money on the side. So these are the main reasons for the gigification of people. If we look at skill level of gig workers, majority are of the medium skill type, and 22, we can say accounting for 47% share, 31% have low skill and 22% high skill. The industry-wise distribution of the share of gig workers indicates that majority of the gig economy is created for the retail sector, followed by transportation and storage, financial and insurance activities, manufacturing, information and communication technology, and so on. The composition of these sectors indicate that gig economy is mainly created in those sectors which are helpful for increasing the productivity at the higher end level, and also supported by the increased productivity at the higher in the, we can say, tech-based sectors. Another policy initiative that has been taken for creating self-employment and innovative activities are startups, and we can see that the direct jobs created by these startups is continuously 2 to 3 minutes. Yeah, I'm winding up. The number of jobs created is from, it has increased from 300 to, we can say, 3.92 in 2022-23. It is in lakhs, and total jobs created 16.8 lakh. And the composition of the sector-wise startups and jobs created again show the same situation, that they are mainly created for IT sectors and the other sectors like healthcare, life sciences, and education that supports the development of the tech-based sectors. With this, the unemployment rate has decreased both for overall and youth population. And if you look at the change in employment patterns, we can see that the share of self-employed workers is increasing, and that of regular wage and casual labor is decreasing, and it is more prominent for the rural area as compared to the urban area, and also more prominent for the rural females and urban females as compared to rural males and urban males. Now the key question arises: to what extent the emerging employment pattern address the problems of income inequality, rural-urban divide, and gender differences in the labor market? And does this employment shift indicate a drive towards the decent work arrangement? For this, we have tried to analyze the sector-wise scenario, and we can see that the large component of this graph, that the self-employment increase has been attributed to increase in the share of workers in the as helpers in the household industries, and this situation is more prominent for the agricultural sector. In case of industrial sector and service sector, there is a slight increase in self-employment, which is attributed to own account workers share and helpers in household industries in both the industrial and service sector. The about similar situation is observed for the rural area, and for the urban area, we can observe a very slight increase in self-employment and own account workers. This is the part that I have taken from an earlier study, shift share decomposition employment shift, which indicates that since the workers are now shifting towards the agriculture sector, the productivity effect is very low, and for the manufacturing sector it is 3.9, which indicates that the net effect, which is higher than the, we can say, within shift of the employment, and it is net effect makes the net effect positive. But in construction sector and service sector, the shift towards self-employment makes the net effect negative. This extract I have taken from the study by Upreti and Sridhar, and just to indicate that how the automation techniques addresses the economic inequality by dividing the okay. Just I want to say that if the automation takes place at the higher end level, it will decrease the wage inequality, and if it takes place at the lower end level, it will increase the wage inequality. And regarding the addressing to issues of regional disparity and gender inequality, they are more likely to increase regional disparity because of the we can say rural gaps in the distribution of facilities. And for the females also, we can say that since the digital platforms are, all the types of options in the digital platforms are not feasible for the females, so their trading rate is low, and as a result, they earn less from the this thing. Decent employment, it is not said to be different because of the various key points that are there. Since regarding the future of work, I will just conclude in 1 minute. Regarding the future of work in India, digital platforms are going, artificial intelligence are going, and we are now moving towards the, we can say, the artificial intelligence in order to make the facilities reach to each and every person of the economy, and also private businesses, they want to adopt the cost-cutting strategy. Lifestyles are changing, more women are in the workshop, so they are, we can say, more comfortable with the digital labor platforms. Apart from that, the government is also supporting the gig economy by ensuring some security benefits to them. Concluding remarks: the economic condition and demographic situation of India demand intervention at a large scale for improving employment opportunities and enhancing social welfare. So the importance of the AI-based digital platform is increasing at a rapid rate. There is a need for the human being to think beyond technologies by developing their abilities for critical thinking, intelligence, emotional intelligence, areas where technologies cannot easily replicate. Apart from that, if suppose we talk of, since India has a very high share of low-skilled workers, so in order to protect them, it is necessary that minimum wage bills should be there and social security benefits should be there. There is also need for greater collaboration between government, employers, and workers' organization, and also collective bargaining and social dialogue in order to we can say support the workers and businesses in the AI transitions. Lastly, I will say that since the Digital India program is is in force, and digital platforms and online services are expanding in rural and remote areas, and companies are also hiring people from these rural areas to deliver their products. Companies are also looking for the digital platforms to cut their costs. So as a result, in future, there are the chances that regional disparities and gender gaps will decrease, and the resulting increase in demand for workers in rural areas will help protect their wages. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your by Dr. Monica Bosme, Assistant Professor in Computer Science, Mahendra Pratap University, Aligarh.
सर बाहर जाइए उधर चले शो
हेलो या वेरी गुड आफ्टरनून। यहाँ ऑडियंस भी नहीं है और काफ़ी सारे टॉपिक कवर हो चुके हैं, तो मैं एक छोटा सा शॉर्ट में अपनी बात को यहाँ ख़त्म करूँगी। सबसे पहले तो थैंक यू मैम, सेन गुप्ता मैम, सेनापति सर, विक्रम चड्ढा सर, पांडे सर, कि मुझे ये अपॉर्चुनिटी दी बोलने की, लेकिन अभी सुनने वाला कोई नहीं है। फिर भी मैं थोड़ा सा आपको बताना चाहूँगी कि एक मिथ, जो कुछ मिथ हमारे एनवायरनमेंट में हो रही है, जो कि बोला जाता है कि जॉब के लिए बहुत खतरा है एआई को लेकर। तो छोटी सी बात इसमें मैं कहना चाहती हूँ कि ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है, क्योंकि जब भी कोई टेक्नोलॉजी नई टेक्नोलॉजी आती है तो हमेशा यही लगता है कि हमारे जो पुरानी जो चीज़ें हैं, जो कल्चरल हमारी आती जा रही है, उनमें दिक्कत आएगी। जैसे कि हम सुनते हैं कि पहले नाव से नदी पार करते थे, फिर पुल बन गए, बैलगाड़ी से चलते थे तो ट्रेन बन गई। तो क्या हम देखते हैं ना कि जैसे जैसे इनोवेशन होता है तो ग्रोथ बढ़ती है, स्कोप बढ़ता है। तो इसी तरीके से आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस को अगर हम अपने किसी भी सेक्टर में यूज़ करें तो उसकी ग्रोथ होगी डेफिनेटली। आप किसी भी कंपनी में जाएं, अगर आप आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस का आप यूज़ कर रहे हैं कंपनी के अंदर, तो उनकी कहीं ना कहीं कॉस्ट इफेक्टिव होगा, उनका कहीं ना कहीं ग्रोथ हो रही है। तो ऐसा मेरा मानना बिल्कुल भी नहीं है, चाहे कोई भी एआई टूल कहे, चाहे कोई इकोनॉमिस्ट इस बात को कहे कि इससे हमारी ग्रोथ रुकेगी। डेफिनेटली मुझे नहीं लगता कि कहीं पर रुकने वाली है। इतने सारे स्कोप ओपन हो गए, स्कोप हमारा बढ़ जाता है। जैसे कि अगर हम पहले ज़माने की बात करें तो हमारा जो बिजनेस था वो एक पर्टिकुलर सराउंडिंग में होता था, हम एक शहर से दूसरे शहर में काम कर पाते थे। जब से हमारा इंटरनेट आया, हम वर्ल्ड वाइड काम करने लगे, तो हमारा स्कोप बढ़ा। आज हमारे गांव का एक छोटा सा आदमी जो कारीगर है, वो वर्ल्ड वाइड अपने प्रोडक्ट्स को सेल कर रहा है, तो उसको बिजनेस अपॉर्चुनिटी मिल रही है। ऐसे ही जब कंप्यूटर आया था तो कहा था कि कंप्यूटर हमारी सारी जॉब ले जाएगा, कोई काम नहीं करेगा। तो ऐसा हमने प्रैक्टिकली नहीं देखा, जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटीज क्रिएट हुई, लेकिन एडवांस तो हमको करना ही पड़ेगा। अगर हम अपने आप को इस दौड़ में एडवांस नहीं करेंगे तो हम पीछे रह जाएंगे। कोरिया, जापान, ये सब बहुत पहले आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस को यूज कर रहे हैं। आप वहाँ जाइए, मशीन्स सारी ऑटोमेटेड है, पेट्रोल आपको डलवाना है ऑटोमेटिकली डल जाएगा, कहीं पेमेंट करना है कार्ड दिखाइए चला जाएगा, आपको कार निकालनी है, जैसे आप हमारे यहाँ तो अब ये आया है कि आप व्हीकल आप जाते हैं और आपका व्हीकल निकल जाता है और आपके अकाउंट से अमाउंट डिडक्ट हो जाता है। ये वहाँ पहले से ही हो रहा है। तो क्या इससे क्या हमारी इकोनॉमी पर इफेक्ट पड़ा? मुझे तो नहीं लगता। मुझे लगता है कहीं ना कहीं हमारा स्कोप एनहांस होगा इन सब चीज़ों से। हाँ, लेकिन एक चैलेंज जो हमारे सामने आएगा वो आएगा एडवांसमेंट का। हमको अपने आप को इम्प्रूव करना पड़ेगा, स्किलफुल हमारी लेबर हमें बनानी होगी, तभी हम सरवाइव कर पाएंगे। क्योंकि दौड़ में तो वही जीतता है जो दौड़ के संग और दौड़ के आगे अपनी स्पीड को बनाए रखता है। बहुत सारे सेक्टर्स हम लोग एआई के यूज़ करते हैं जिसने हमारी लाइफ को ईजी बना दिया है। हम ये नहीं कह रहे कि हम पढ़े लिखे या हम इंटेलिजेंट लोग ही एआई यूज़ कर रहे हैं, रेगुलर पब्लिक यूज़ कर रही है। आपको कोई रिपोर्ट बनानी होती है, आप तुरंत एआई पर स्पीक एनएलपी यूज़ करते हैं, नेचुरल लैंग्वेज प्रोसेसिंग बोलते हैं हम उसको, एनएलपी। आप बोलते हैं, वो टाइप हो जाता है, आपने तुरंत कॉपी किया और आपने प्रेस को भेज दिया या आपने कहीं कंटेंट भेज दिया। दैट बिकम ईजी। हम पहले कहीं जाते थे, किसी दूसरे ट्रेवल करना होता, किसी दूसरे कंट्री में जाते थे, हमें दिक्कत होती थी कि ये कहाँ क्या बोल रहे हैं, हमें क्या बोलना है। तो एनएलपी ने वो ईजी कर दिया। अभी हम अपनी लैंग्वेज में कुछ बोलेंगे, उसको उसकी लैंग्वेज में पता चलेगा। तो दैट बिकम इजी। हमारा स्कोप इंक्रीज हो गया। चंद्रयान चंद्रमा पे पहुंच गया। कैसे पहुंचा? एआई के बिना तो नहीं पहुंचा ना। तो स्कोप हमारा इंक्रीज हो गया। तो मेरा कहने का बस एक समरी यही है कि स्कोप हमारा बहुत इंक्रीज होगा अगर हम एआई को यूज़ करेंगे, इस इनोवेशन की, इस टेक्नोलॉजी की स्पीड को अगर हम ग्रैब करते हैं तो डेफिनेटली हमारी इकोनॉमी भी इम्प्रूव होगी। बहुत सारे सेक्टर्स हैं, गूगल के हम बहुत सारे टूल्स एआई के यूज़ करते हैं, एनएलपी यूज़ करते हैं, स्पीच रिकॉग्निशन यूज़ करते हैं, टाइपिंग यूज़ करते हैं, गूगल मैप यूज़ करते हैं, इवन गूगल सर्च भी कर रहे हैं, दैट इज़ ऑल्सो एआई। कंप्यूटर विजन, अभी हमारे पास डॉक्यूमेंट मेरा टाइप किया हुआ है, आप इसको स्कैन करके डाल दीजिए, टाइप करके आ जाएगा। कंप्यूटर विजन वी आर यूजिंग, रोबोटिक्स वी आर यूजिंग। ऐसी बहुत सारी जगह, जैसे अभी कल मैं देख रही थी जहाँ पर लावा निकलता है, वहाँ का सीन बाय द रोबोटिक ही शोज, जहाँ पर जो विस्फोट होता है, लावा निकलता है, तो उन्होंने विद द हेल्प ऑफ रोबोटिक्स ही कैप्चर द इमेजेस। वो हम सोच ही नहीं सकते थे, तो हमारा स्कोप इंक्रीज हुआ ना। तो यहाँ हम जब दिमाग हमारा नहीं पहुंच सकता, जहाँ ह्यूमन नहीं पहुंच सकता, वो हमारे रोबोट्स पहुंच रहे हैं, तो हमारा स्कोप इंक्रीज हो रहा है। हेल्थ सेक्टर में डिसीज डायग्नोसिस, हम किसी पर्टिकुलर पर जाते थे और अपनी डिसीज बताते थे, अब हमारे सिम्टम्स के अकॉर्डिंग हम खुद भी चेक कर लेते हैं कि क्या हो सकता है, या किसी ने ये सजेस्ट किया है कि किसी ने बताया कि ये बीमारी आपको हो सकती है, तो तुरंत जाके हम देखते हैं कि क्या सिम्टम्स हो सकते हैं हमारे अंदर। तो ये स्कोप हमारा इंक्रीज हो रहा है। ट्रीटमेंट डेवलपमेंट, बहुत सारे डेटा को लास्ट एनालाइज करके एक ऑटोमेटेड सिस्टम बनाया जा रहा है, जिससे हम हमारे सिम्टम्स हम फिल करें और वो रोबोट हमको या मशीन हमको बता पाएगी कि हमारे अंदर क्या डिसीज हो सकती है। मेरे सिम्टम्स के बेस पर बिफोर जो डेटा हमारा पुराना है उसको कलेक्टिव करके, उसको एनालिसिस करके बताया जा सकता है अकॉर्डिंगली कि आपको क्या डिसीज होने की संभावना, या लास्ट आपको क्या हो सकता है अगर आप इसको क्योर नहीं करते, आने वाले 5 साल में आपको क्या बीमारी हो सकती है। ये सारे काम हमारे एआई के थ्रू अभी भी चल रहे हैं। ऑपरेशंस, पहले एक्सपर्ट को हमें कहीं से बाहर से बुलाना पड़ता था, एक्सपेंसिव होता था। अब यहाँ चश्मे के पास एक कैमरा फिट कर दिया जाता है, तो जो भी बेसिक ऑपरेटर होता है उसको वो इंस्ट्रक्शंस उसके कान में आते रहते हैं और ही कैन जूम इन जूम आउट, और वहाँ पर वो बहुत अच्छे से ऑपरेशन कर सकते हैं, जो एक नॉर्मल लोग भी जानते हैं। तो ये क्या स्कोप हमारा इंक्रीज हो रहा है। इवन ही इज नॉट एक्सपर्ट, he is basic doctor, but with the consult of any senior person he can do the treatment, he can do the surgery। तो ये हमारे यहाँ प्रैक्टिकली हो रहा है। एजुकेशन में अभी सर ने बोला था कि हमारे यहाँ बच्चे सारे चैट जीपीटी से असाइनमेंट निकाल के ला रहे हैं। हाँ, इसके नुकसान भी हैं, ऐसा नहीं है, लेकिन जो फायदे हैं तो वहाँ नुकसान भी है। पर्सनलाइज लर्निंग हो गई है, बच्चे को किसी गुरु की जरूरत नहीं है, वो जाता है यूट्यूब पर और सब कुछ उससे ज्ञान मिल रहा है। तो पर्सनलाइज लर्निंग, ऐसे इसके बेनिफिट भी है। अगर मेरे को किसी ऐसे फील्ड की जानकारी लेनी है और मेरे टच में नहीं है कुछ लोग, तो मैं गूगल से पूछ सकती हूँ, तो बेनिफिट भी है, तो फायदे भी है, तो नुकसान भी है। एजुकेशन में बेनिफिट्स भी हैं, आपका ऑटोमेटिकली आप प्लेगरिज्म हम चेक कर पाते हैं, दैट इज ऑल्सो अ पार्ट ऑफ एआई से बना भी रहे हैं और चेक भी कर रहे हैं। स्टूडेंट्स की इन्वॉल्वमेंट भी इंक्रीज हो गई है। अगर स्कोप बहुत अच्छा है पढ़ाई के लिए, पहले हमारे पास अगर हमको कुछ कंटेंट की जानकारी लेनी है तो हमारे पास एक लिमिटेड लाइब्रेरीज होती थी, अब हमारे पास बहुत सारा कंटेंट है, तो इससे इन्वॉल्वमेंट भी बढ़ती है और इम्प्रूवमेंट भी आता है हमारी एजुकेशन में। फाइनेंस में फ्रॉड डिटेक्शन का काम भी हमारा एआई कर रहा है। पर्सनलाइज्ड रिकमेंडेशंस भी हम दे सकते हैं एआई के थ्रू कि आपका पुराना एक्सपीरियंस ये रहा, तो इन फ्यूचर यू हैव टू इन्वेस्ट इन दिस पर्टिकुलर बिजनेस एंड यू हैव टू डू दिस बिजनेस। सो वी कैन डू द प्रेडिक्टिव एनालिसिस बाय यूजिंग द एआई। तो एआई हमारी हेल्प करती है कि हम कौन से बिजनेस में आगे इन्वेस्टमेंट करें, या कौन सा बिजनेस ऐसा है जिसमें आगे ग्रोथ होने के चांसेस हैं। डॉक्यूमेंट प्रोसेसिंग, जैसे हमारे बहुत सारे डॉक्यूमेंट्स इकट्ठे हो गए हैं, उनको इकट्ठा करके उनका एक समरी निकालने का काम भी हमारा एआई करता है। बिजनेस इंटेलिजेंस क्रिएट कर सकता है हमारा एआई। मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में रोबोटिक्स के इन्वॉल्वमेंट होने के बाद बहुत प्रोडक्शन इम्प्रूव हुआ है, लेबर की कमी है, एक रोबोटिक्स का यूज करके हम अपनी मैन्युफैक्चरिंग को बहुत अच्छे तरीके से इंक्रीज कर सकते हैं। एंटरटेनमेंट में हम देखते हैं विजुअलाइज, आज हम मूवीज को देखते हैं तो पुरानी मूवीज हमको ऐसी लगती है पता नहीं क्या है, तो दीज ऑल आर द इन्वॉल्वमेंट ऑफ एआई। ब्यूटी के सेक्टर में भी हम यूज़ करते हैं, हम अपना फेस लगा के वैरायटी ऑफ हेयर स्टाइल, वैरायटी ऑफ ड्रेसेस वी कैन सी विद द हेल्प ऑफ एआई। तो बहुत सारे सेक्टर्स हैं जिनमें हम एआई का यूज़ कर रहे हैं, और एआई का यूज़ करने से हमारा स्कोप बहुत बढ़ गया है, हमारे पास फील्ड्स बहुत है। बस हमारी ज़रूरत है इंटेलिजेंस की, हमें जो नॉलेज होनी चाहिए, हमें अपनी लेबर को इम्प्रूव करना है। तो ये सारे चैलेंजेस हैं, बहुत सारे कुछ चैलेंजेस भी हैं, कुछ बेनिफिट्स भी हैं। हाँ, अब एक सर का भी क्वेश्चन था कि डिजिटल अरेस्ट से हम कैसे बचें, दिस इज़ ऑल्सो अ वेरी मेजर कंसर्न। तो उसमें हमें अवेयरनेस होनी बहुत ज़रूरी है। अब इस समय एआई से आपके ऐसा लगेगा कि कोई परिचिति आपको कॉल कर रहा है और आपको लगेगा कि अरे ये तो, यहाँ आपको थोड़ा सा अवेयर भी रहना है, आपको थोड़ी सी अपनी इंटेलिजेंस का यूज़ करना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि हर चीज़ के फ़ायदे और नुकसान भी हैं। साइंस के फ़ायदे भी है, नुकसान भी है। हमारे घर में गैस आई, गैस जलाना हम सीख गए, लेकिन अगर हम उसको मिसयूज़ करेंगे, उसे चलाना ही नहीं आएगा, तो डेफिनेटली वो नुकसान करेगी। तो इसी तरीके से एआई टूल जितने भी हम लोग यूज़ कर रहे हैं उन सबके फ़ायदे भी हैं और नुकसान भी हैं। बोलना तो मैं बहुत कुछ चाहती थी, लेकिन मैंने शॉर्ट में कोशिश करी है कि मैं अपने स्कोप को कवर कर सकूँ, अपनी बात को कह सकूँ। थैंक यू सो मच मैम।
Presentation. There's a question? Please.
मेरा एक क्वेश्चन है, एआई से हम ग्रोथ तो कर रहे हैं, लेकिन कहीं ना कहीं मुझे लग रहा है कि हमारी अपनी क्रिएटिविटी डाउन हो रही है। आप चैट जीपीटी यूज करते हैं, एक वर्ड डालते हैं और सेंटेंस बन के हमारे पास आ जाता है। हमें अपने माइंड को अप्लाई ही नहीं करना। हम जब छोटे थे तो हम पहाड़े याद करते थे, हम कैलकुलेशन अपने माइंड को अप्लाई करके करते थे। आज बच्चों को पहाड़े नहीं आते, आज वो उन्हें कैलकुलेशन करना होता है, वो सीधा अपने मोबाइल पे जाते हैं, कैलकुलेटर ऑन करते हैं और कैलकुलेशन कर देते हैं। तो जहाँ तक मुझे लग रहा है कि हमने अपने माइंड को अप्लाई करना जब से एआई आया है, छोड़ दिया है या हम छोड़ते जा रहे हैं। अभी मैंने देखा था कि एक जगह में ऐसे ही एंकरिंग में थी और हमें कुछ समरी देनी थी अपने एक्सपर्ट्स जो बोल रहे थे उनकी। हमारे जो साथी थे, फेलो जो बैठे थे, उन्होंने जो लेक्चर चल रहा था उसका एक वर्ड डाला उसमें, और उसमें वो निकल के आ गया कि उन्होंने क्या बोला, और उन्होंने उसी को वहाँ बोल दिया कि ये सर ने जो बोला है उसकी समरी ये है। तो उसमें हमारा कुछ था ही नहीं, वी हैव नॉट यूटिलाइज्ड आवर माइंड। हमने ये सोचा ही नहीं कि वास्तव में यही बोला जा रहा है। हमने तो सिर्फ एक जो वर्ड था उसे पकड़ के उस पर डाल दिया और उसी से हमने बता दिया कि इन्होंने ये बोला है। हमने वास्तव में उन्होंने क्या बोला उसको समझा ही नहीं और समझने की कोशिश ही नहीं की। तो ये तो मुझे लगता है कि हमारी क्रिएटिविटी, हमारा एप्लीकेशन ऑफ माइंड जीरो होता जा रहा है बिकॉज ऑफ यूज ऑफ दिस एआई।
मैम आप कहे तो बिल्कुल सही नहीं है, लेकिन अगर हम एक फील्ड को छोड़ते हैं तो कहीं ना कहीं अपनी एनर्जी को कहीं ना कहीं रीयूज करते हैं। तो हमें लगता है कि एक जगह अगर हमने कहीं अपनी एनर्जी को यूज करना बंद किया है तो कहीं ना कहीं हम उसको कहीं और यूज करेंगे। ये बायस भी है। देखिए एआई हमें एक थोड़ा सा आइडिया देता है, क्रिएटिविटी नहीं देता। जैसे कि अगर मैं कहती हूँ, आपने कहा कि समरी उन्होंने निकाल के दी, लेकिन एक क्रिएटिव समरी नहीं दी होगी, ये मैं 100% कह सकती हूँ। जो बात आप अच्छे से निकाल सकते हो वो एआई नहीं निकाल सकता। प्रेजेंटेशन हम बनाते हैं, डेफिनेटली मैं भी बनाती हूँ ऑनलाइन, लेकिन लास्ट में मुझे उसमें टाइम देना पड़ता है। कुछ आइडियाज तो हमको मिल जाते हैं, लेकिन इंटेलिजेंस, हमारी क्रिएटिविटी वो बाद में ही निकल कर आती है। तो एनर्जी का यूटिलाइजेशन है एक जगह से। पहले हम जैसे मोबाइल नंबर हमको टाइम पर उस समय याद रहते थे सारे, सबके जब हमारा लैंडलाइन यूज होता था सारे मोबाइल नंबर हमको याद थे। आज हमें अपने फैमिली मेंबर्स के मोबाइल नंबर याद है, तो हम लोग दिमाग ही नहीं लगाना चाहते क्योंकि वो हमें इजीली अवेलेबल हो रहा है। तो जो चीज़ हमको इजीली अवेलेबल हो जाती है उसके लिए हम दिमाग नहीं लगाते। हम ये सोचते हैं कि अब हम ये अपनी एनर्जी को कहीं और अच्छी जगह यूज करें। तो एनर्जी तो कहीं ना कहीं यूज होगी, मुझे ये लगता है। हो सकता है वो। यस सर प्लीज।
बहुत अच्छी बात कर रही है और एआई के संबंध में उसके नेगेटिव और पॉजिटिव दोनों बातें हो रही हैं। ओपन अप हो रहा है होराइजन और नई चीज़ों को सीखना चाहिए, हम इसके खिलाफ नहीं हैं। तैयारी हमारी होनी चाहिए, और जहाँ तक तैयारी का सवाल है तो हम इसको इग्नोर नहीं कर सकते कि हम आज भी लिटरेसी नहीं दे पाए। महिलाओं की, दलितों के, नीचे के समाज में बड़ा तबका है जहाँ लिटरेसी नहीं हो, और सिर्फ लिटरेसी की बात अभी करें, उसके बाद डिजिटल लिटरेसी और तब फिर एआई की लिटरेसी। तो एक तरफ जहाँ ये तैयारी कि हम ट्रांसफॉर्मेटिव फ्रेम में हम आगे जा रहे हैं, उसके तरफ हम देखें, जरूर देखना चाहिए। लेकिन उसके साथ साथ ये भी देखना चाहिए कि हम जो नीचे लोग हैं, कल प्रोफेसर गोयल साहब कह रहे थे कि एजुकेशन सेस का पैसा जो 92,000 करोड़ है वो अनयूटिलाइज पड़ा हुआ है। खर्च हो रहे हैं कहाँ? तो वो IIT में तो खर्च हो रहे हैं, और प्राइमरी स्कूल बंद किए। तो रीप्रायोरिटाइजेशन का जो सवाल है उसमें कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं है कि हम प्रायोरिटी के लिए जिस तरह से हम AI की तरफ दुकान जिस तरह से हम बढ़े हैं, और हमारे जो छूटे हुए बड़े इलाके हैं वो छूटे ही तो नहीं रहते, ये आशंका है। जिस तरह से प्राइमरी स्कूल सब बंद हो रहे हैं चारों तरफ, उसके लिहाज से मैं कह रहा हूं। दूसरी बात कि एम्प्लॉयमेंट का सवाल, या पिछले जो सेंसर्स ने एक हंसा जैन का एक जनरेशन आया था, वो AI पर कम था, डिजिटाइजेशन पर ज़्यादा था। हाँ, वो डिजिटाइजेशन पर था, AI का एप्लीकेशन के आस्पेक्ट पर था नहीं। लेकिन एक बात उससे बहुत अच्छी थी कि डिजिटाइजेशन के जो आयाम हैं उसको उन्होंने बढ़िया से संभाला था। अगर आप उस एस्पेक्ट को देखें और AI के इम्प्लीकेशन या उसके एप्लीकेशन की बात करें, तो मुझे लगता ये है कि एक बड़ा ट्रांसफॉर्मेटिव रिफॉर्म्स की आवश्यकता है। एग्रीकल्चर में भी उन्होंने जोड़ दिया, इंडस्ट्री में भी जोड़ दिया, इन्फॉर्मल सेक्टर को भी जोड़ दिया। लेकिन अगर आप उसके AI के यूज की बात करें तो थोड़ा सा बहुत पीछे मैं आपको ले जाऊं कि इंक्लोजर मूवमेंट जो हुआ उससे हमारा इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन का दौर बढ़ा। इंग्लैंड के इंक्लोजर मूवमेंट के कंपल्सन था। हमारे यहाँ हाथ हैं जो बेकार। तो AI का यूज जहाँ हाथ नहीं है वहाँ हो तो समझ में आती है। आप सिर्फ स्किल्ड मेडिकल ऑपरेशन की बात कर रहे हैं, वहाँ तो ये बात समझ में आती है। लेकिन मेसन्स का काम जो ईटा ढोने और बिल्डिंग खड़ा करने का काम है वो भी AI कर रहा है, रोबोटिक्स। तो जो कैपिटल इंटेंसिव यूटिलाइजेशन हो रहा है उसमें जो हमारे पास रिसोर्सलेस जमात है, बड़ी सी भीड़ है, उसके लिए बेसिक इनकम और भोजन का क्या होगा? इक्विटी का सवाल AI के साथ अगर आप बिना जोड़े देखते हैं तो फिर हम कहाँ ले जा रहे हैं? अगर हम विकसित भारत की बात करना चाहते हैं फ्री फूड, तो ये कैसा विकसित भारत होगा जहाँ एक तरफ तो AI के साथ हाईली कैपिटल इंटेंसिव इकोनॉमी के साथ हम बहुत अच्छे अच्छी बात करेंगे, अच्छी जगह जाएंगे, लेकिन बड़ा इलाका होगा जो भूखों मरेगा, जिसको आज तो हम 81 करोड़ को खिला रहे हैं, कल पता नहीं कितने करोड़ को खिलाना पड़े, और उसके लिए फिर कहाँ से आए? एक मेजर चैलेंज है, इसको समझने की आवश्यकता है।
जो आप बात कही
जी,
क्योंकि हमारे पास हाथ है तो इसलिए वो हाथों को यूज करने के लिए हमें AI को डिस्प्लेस या सप्लीमेंट करना पड़ेगा। ऐसी बात नहीं है, अगर हाथ हैं भी हैं, इवन देन हमें AI के ऊपर हाथ जो है वो रखने पड़ेंगे। मैं आपको एक छोटा सा बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग एनेक्डोट बताता हूँ इसी साल का।
सर एनेक्डोट नहीं, रेट ऑफ
रियलिटी एनेक्डोट नहीं है, एनेक्डोट।
रिप्लेसमेंट
जुलाई 24 में अगर आपने न्यूज़पेपर पढ़े होंगे, ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड एक बड़ा सीरियस नेट क्रैश हुआ था। नेट क्रैश हुआ था ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड। एयरपोर्ट्स, बैंक्स, हॉस्पिटल्स, एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन all collapsed because the computers crashed. There was a cyber attack and it impregnated the wall, cyber wall called CrowdStrike. Nobody could decipher what happened, because it was thought it was impregnable. That cyber wall cannot be attacked. What happened then? The whole world, and within, okay, they got over that, and within some time, few hours, it was overcome. The problem was overcome. But within that 1.5 hours, $90 billion were down the drain. The company that had created that CrowdStrike cyber wall was wondering what happened. How can it happen? It is so foolproof. It is foolproof. A committee was constituted to study what happened, and you know what conclusion they reached? They said that this tool was tested by AI, not by human mind. That is why it happened. So therefore that, in fact, reiterates what you were saying, that human hands are very important. Unless, even if AI is there, it has to be monitored, it has to be checked.
नहीं, मैं एक तीसरी बात कह रहा हूँ उसके साथ। आपने बात आगे बढ़ाई तो एक बात और बढ़ जाएगी। बर्ट्रांड रसेल ने जब साइंस और एथिक्स की बात की, और उसके बाद जब स्टीफन हॉकिंस ने उस टेक्नोलॉजी के वर्ल्ड को, जो साइंस के वर्ल्ड को, जो टेक्नोलॉजी का वर्ल्ड ओवरकम कर रहा है या सुपर पावर बन रहा है, उसके कारण से कल जब इमेजिन करिए जिस दिन वो आपस में जब रोबोटिक्स लड़ने लगेगा, प्रोग्राम चल रहा है तो ठीक है, आप इमेजिनेशन के साइड पर जा रहे हैं तो मैं उधर ले जा रहा हूँ, लेकिन ये रोबोटिक्स जिस दिन फेल करेगा हॉस्पिटल में, उस समय का जो क्रैश होगा, उसके लिए अगर हम तैयार नहीं हैं तो फिर क्या होगा उसको भी जानते हैं। मतलब ये हुआ कि साइंस और टेक्नोलॉजी को इथिक्स से बाहर ले जाके हम कैसा समाज चाहते हैं, वैसा साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी का कंट्रोल एंड एप्लीकेशन भी होना चाहिए। बस इतनी बात में कहना चाहिए।
I think a few days back the news is that the physicist, I think Hilton, who won this year's Nobel Prize, he's a physicist. He said that I have surrendered before this. I have given up this area of AI. He's known that to be the godfather of AI. And he said that I have stopped working in it because it is so dangerous again. And then the person, the Nobel laureate in chemistry, who won this year's chemistry, who used AI to create new type of drugs or proteins, new type of proteins which will be so beneficial for humanity. He also confesses that nobody should take liberty with this AI. It's so dangerous because it is so risky that it has to be overseen very, very strictly. It has to be monitored very intensively. Only then it should be used. It should not be left to be used by irresponsible. That's why even India has adopted responsible AI. That kind of initiative, responsible. That the youth should be told that they should be very responsible because there are many ethical implications in this field. Because as it was said that it is very prejudicial, it is full of biases, because it will give the results, whatever you feed in, that will, it will give feeder. Yeah. So therefore, feeding in, it should be very important.
Okay, I think with that we have finished all the presentations. We had some wonderful presentations, and I thank the paper presenters for the extremely hard work in preparing the wonderful papers and the presentations. And I'm sure the knowledge and the information gained from all the presentations and especially the discussions will add a new light to this area of AI. And I also thank my co-chair, the rapporteur and the moderator, and the organizers for giving me this opportunity to chair this wonderful session. So thank you all once again.